So I can, and I do. I see one of the gifts is I grew up with an undiagnosed mental illness, which I talk about in the show. And I guess one of the gifts is I don't see myself as, I legitimately see myself as not better than any other person, which was a huge help in the job, like, cause like people can tell, like if you think they're better than them, and like homeless people and stuff, and if you think you're better than them, they hate you right away. If you like project this air of whatever I do, they're way nicer to deal with. And I see, weirdly enough, this show is the original, or one of the versions, I juxtaposed these two jobs actually. I had this job where I worked with street people most of the time, like, or that was 2 to 3 hours of my 6-hour day was working with street people. And during sort of a break in that time, I worked as sacristan at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. So I worked with the Queen and with street people within like a month of each other.
And which did you prefer?
I'll put it this way.
She's not watching.
I'll put it this way. The stories are way better and way more interesting with the street people. Like way more interesting. The Queen's kind of boring. At least my experience with her was boring. I'm sure back like when I'm not around, she did. You know.
So you've done the show. This isn't your first memory of the show. It's short. It's gotten great reviews in a number of places. Has the show evolved? Like, is this a different version than what you've done in the past?
The evolution is I did a reading of it at the Victoria Film Festival. It was just a reading that was that. I had a different title for it. It was called Diamond Tiaras in the Gutter, and it was juxtaposing those two jobs. But like the whole point was just like everybody's a human, and it was kind of too facile, and that was sort of the reaction I got. And I say Britt Small and Jacob Richmond are my dramaturges, and they're two close friends of mine. I'll plug another show, Legoland, because Jacob Richmond wrote that show. They were like, that's not good, you should change it. And then they gave me some advice, which I was like, I don't like your advice, but the fact that you're giving it to me means I should change a lot. So what I did is I just sort of cut out all the royal stuff and just focused on the street people, like the aspect of working with people on the streets, and this concept of justice, and making that the theme of justice and how difficult it is to be a good and just person, and just to be a good, and I've done 4 shows now. It's my 4th sort of hour-long monologue, and just to be a good person is sort of the difficulties of that, the complications of that is what sort of the overlying theme. And this one is to be a just person and the difficulties of that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough. It's a terrific show. You should really go out and see it. It's so good to see a show that can be funny when the material is pretty dark at a lot of moments, and yet to still feel comfortable laughing at some of the things you say. That makes you feel pretty good at some of the things.
I've been doing that for years, trying to mixing those two things. I like my comedic heroes like Richard Pryor, like Bill Hicks. Face the guy with the red hair. I'm really tired.
Hair job.
Yeah, that's a set of 3 Canadians.
Like Louis C.K. but just like the mixture of that's, or I mean even freaking Robin Williams. Like even just like the mix, like they come out of each other. They're not that separate. And I've been dancing on that line for about a decade as well. So it's not new to me.
So you've got some other stuff on the go. I wanted to talk to you a little bit too about your novel.
Yes, I have a novel that is it's officially a fall release, but it was printed in June. So I have some not with me right now because I sold them out, but I can re-up. But it's called The Right of James Biddle, and it's fiction. It's not in any way autobiographical, except that it is. I worked at a couple of churches, and I grew up in the church, and my granddad was a priest when I was a priest. So it's about he's 36 going on 86, but he was 6 going on 86. He's a young fogey. He's always been old. Most of his friends are in their 80s and 90s, and he kind of shares their opinions on things, but they're all dying off. And he falls in love with a redheaded hipster woman, and this is like the second time in his life that he's ever been like infatuated with somebody. And then he finds out that not only is she getting married, but he's going to officiate her wedding. And then he finds his 13-year-old goddaughter, who's the person he loves most in the world, living on the streets. And because of this, he is forced to actually finally face the modern world and face technology. He does not have a cell phone when it starts. He does not have a. He has like an email that's about because he has to for work. And he fixed the fact that there are women priests in the world. Like he's just kind of he lives in a different era, and he's finally forced to face now.
Okay. So it hasn't officially. We can only get it.
Oh no, you can get it. No, you can get it. It's officially. It's out. You can get it through anywhere. You can go to any bookstore and ask them to order it for you, or if they have it, you can buy it from them. Get it from like the usuals like Amazon, and you can get it. It's published by Bayou Arts. It's BAYEUX. Arts, and it's that's Bayou.com is the website. You can get it directly from them as well, or you can get it from me if you want it signed. You can get it from me, and I would sign it.
That works well for the audience here, but the audience at home cannot grab it.
Or if the audience at home, especially if they're in Toronto, I'm going to be in Toronto in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to do a reading of it there. And my original, I launched the book, before the book was published, at the Victoria Uma Festival, I read the entire book in one sitting, but I thought that was too easy, so I decided...
Can I just ask, did your audience know that was the reading that they go to? Because when I go to, reading from a new novel, I'm expecting, 5 minutes.
Oh, no, readings don't usually start at 9 a.m.
Okay.
So we started at 9, I said breakfast served between 9, because I didn't just do the reading, I just it's called The Rite of James Biddle, because it's based sort of structurally on the Anglican rite, like a Eucharist, and that's like the shared meal in the community. So I especially spent the entire work cooking and baking, and I served 3 meals based on idiosyncratic recipes important to the book. I had a break about every hour, so I had Easter egg hunts. The character's he's an Anglophile, he loves tea, so I was in Victoria, so I said, hey, anybody in Victoria know anyone that can make, is a professional tea maker? And I had a dozen options, how to make tea, and then I had bread and wine, the sort of, for the last one we all sort of shared bread and wine, and then I ended it with a coffee hour, so I made a gelato cake, I made 3 gelato cakes myself to share with the audience. And it was just about the shared experience.
It sounds like more work than writing a novel.
It was such a beautiful experience, and it did. By the end of it, we were all a community because it was 14 hours. But people were just gonna come and then go, and then they stayed. Just because I don't know, I'm pretty good at talking. And I'm pretty good. And I didn't just read it. I performed it. I did have the novel there for just to check. But I didn't. I tried to perform all the characters. I tried to just make it a true experience, and a once in a lifetime experience.
Wow.
And Toronto was just gonna get 20 minutes and some cookies.
Did you at least make the cookies?
But the cookies, I'm going to make the cookies.
Okay,
So they're going to be
well,
freshly made. Again, I invented the recipe, and it's from a book. And so when I do it in Toronto, I'm going to have free rating and free cookies.
Okay.
And it'll be at an Anglican church in downtown Toronto. So that I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. When is that going to happen?
That's going to happen September 12th, 7 to 8 p.m. at St. Stephen in the Fields Anglican Church, which is in Kensington Market. I do not know the address because I'm not on the autistic
That's
spectrum.
okay. If they're watching, they're also already on the internet.
Yeah, they can just look that up.
Okay.
Or I'll put it up soon.
All right, and before we wrap up, I've been asking everybody, are there any other shows that are particular? Oh, first, sorry, you're here at the Bus Stop Theater, which is where we are, by the way, audience at home. When people have been saying, just go across the street to this show, that's not helping you. So we're at the Bus Stop Theater on Goddess Street, which is where Adversary is.
Yes.
And what else is on your radar screen?
I mentioned Legoland already, which the original version of this I watched more than 60 shows that summer, and it was so much better than all the rest, and it was amazing, and they do a really good job. I saw this one, and they do a great job. And I also saw Just Kidding, which was really great. And then today, if you just want to laugh and not have too much serious, Watch Out Wildcat was fantastic. And I also saw We Wrote This today, and that was also fantastic. If you want to see just this talent that should be famous and isn't yet, those are some great shows to watch.
Oh, terrific. Great. We wrote this on yesterday, and again, like I'm saying, I'm excited to see all of the shows, but especially love musicals. So
yeah, no, it's a musical, and
Yeah.
they have some chops. Those two young women have some serious chops. So yeah.
excellent. Well, thank you for being here with us. I really appreciate it. Okay, so that's it. Everyone here, I'm sure, has a copy of the Fringe Festival Guide. Anyone at home who wants to know more about the Fringe Festival can visit us at atlanticfringe.ca, find more about the shows that you've heard about and the 56 other shows that we have going on until September 7th in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And we're going to do this again tomorrow night. If you enjoyed it, please come back. If you didn't enjoy it, then I don't want you here. And with that, I will say thank you and good night.